Right, so WWE WrestleMania is tomorrow, the biggest WWE show of the year, the biggest weekender, the granddaddy of them all, as they say, and I think there's a lot to be said about the builds to this year's WrestleMania, aka it has been trash. It has been one of the worst Mania builds of all time, and genuinely, I'm not even exaggerating. I think I can count maybe two matches I think have been hyped well, and everything else is either just bad or just average or just totally heatless, or doesn't really feel like a Mania build, but rather than just a build up to any other match at any other show. This WrestleMania has been taken over by celebrities, particularly in the Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes storyline, which was an absolute through ball of a storyline to do, revisiting 20 years of history to fans that were there when it first began between these two. It is so easy to run that nostalgia back, but they just decided, nah, let's add Jelly Roll, let's add Pat McAfee, and let's not address any of Cody and Randy's history. And it's that feud in particular that has really just killed this entire WrestleMania build, because this should have been the biggest match on the card, this should have been the most hyped match on the card, but I think it's now the most dreaded. And it's not really anything to do with Cody and Randy, it's completely to do with the fact that this match has been taken over by Pat McAfee, who has made it all about him, and he is now the focal point and center of attention. SmackDown has been on an absolutely god-awful run as of late. That, of course, is the show where Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton's feud is happening, and it has just drags down Friday nights completely. But yeah, I have a whole load of thoughts on every other feud going into WrestleMania, which we are going to talk about in this video as I give my predictions for Mania, and talk about a few last minute things going into the big grand stage of them all tomorrow night, as this will be my final WrestleMania related video before WrestleMania itself, when we're actually reviewing the shows on Monday. And yeah, there is actually a fair bit to talk about just one day before WrestleMania, as just today alone, WWE has made a whole load of questionable decisions going into the show, which means big impact on the show. And these aren't just little decisions, this is stuff that is genuinely gonna affect WrestleMania in a big way, so let's just talk about it all now. So first of all, there was a segment on the Pat McAfee show where he revealed that he and WWE purposely trolled fans with a fake huge surprise at WWE World. WWE World, if you don't know, is like the convention that WWE does, with all the meet and greets and different attractions and stuff like that around Mania time. WrestleMania Access was always better, but World seems cool, I guess. But as you can see, there was like a countdown for a huge surprise they were doing, and it ended up just meaning absolutely nothing, and they trolled the fans with this. And as you're about to see in this clip here, Pat McAfee is what ended up being the big surprise and the big troll, and he said some very interesting things when he appeared on this screen here.
And let's turn it over in 3, 2, and... Surprise, nerds! The surprise that you thought was maybe going to be your favorite wrestler of all time. Maybe somebody from AEW was going to sign with WWE at WrestleMania, and you marks were going to get zipper burn all over yourself. Instead, well, Pat McAfee's smarter than all of you dumb marks yet again.
Hopefully that clip doesn't get copyrighted, but if it did and it can't get played, Pat McAfee literally referenced AEW. He's mocking the fans and going, oh, you thought it was a big surprise, a big debut incoming. You thought it was your favorite wrestler coming from AEW to WWE. I don't understand what he is trying to achieve with this. I mean, sure, I guess you're getting heel heat, but what, there's probably a few hundred people in this room. I mean, the amount of people you're pissing off there isn't going to make the WrestleMania heel reaction any louder, is it? Like, this moment isn't going to add loads of extra heat to your name. Like, was this only done to pop yourself and mention AEW and get a bit of buzz using AEW's name? I think it's very questionable and weird to be bringing up and using AEW to build up one of your feuds a day before WrestleMania. Like, WrestleMania is tomorrow and you're talking about AEW. You're talking about the competition right now. Just everything you don't want to be doing. It's exactly what they spent last year doing as well during the press tour. This is just not what they needed. You can argue that it's heat, I guess, but once again, there's only a few hundred, like maybe to 1,000 people in this hall here being trolled by this, so what heat is actually being added on to Pat's name as a heel. I don't really think this has helped further him as a heel or further the Mania program between, you know, himself and Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton, etc., etc. Just feels like yet more again of WrestleMania week being made about Pat McAfee rather than the actual wrestlers and talent on the show that people care about. Elsewhere going into WrestleMania, Paige has re-signed with the WWE. Saraya from AEW, obviously. I mean, I don't know why I'm saying Saraya from AEW. She was Paige first. Paige is back in WWE. What the hell? She was, of course, forced to retire from WWE competition, I believe, in 2019, or maybe 2018, or somewhere around that time. I can't remember the exact year. She ended up becoming a SmackDown GM before she ended up leaving the company, and went to AEW, where her in-ring career got restored, and she returned back to wrestling on an in-ring capacity, and she left AEW around a year and a half ago. And yeah, there was no real, chatter of any interest from Saraya, from WWE to sign Saraya. I'm sure Saraya was always going to be interested in a return, but here we are just a day before WrestleMania, and Paige is back in WWE. Apparently, it is a multi-year deal, and as well as that, she's expected to replace Nikki Bella in the women's four-way tag, the one that is Charlotte and Alexa Bliss against Lyra and Bayley, against the Bella twins, and Nia Jax and Lash Legend. Yep, that's my 25-year-old man memory right there. And Nikki Bella did seem to suffer an injury a few weeks ago on TV, and she was questioned whether she was going to be a part of this match. It seemed to be a bit of a close call and a bit uncertain. And it seems as though now that Paige is coming into that role to replace Nikki Bella, and it's going to be Paige and Brie Bella in that women's tag match. Listen, good for Paige, good for Saraya. I liked Paige and liked Saraya when she was around in wrestling, but I'm not sure what she's going to bring to the women's division. She isn't going to be a top dog, I don't think, for sure. I mean, hey, you never know in today's WWE. She could easily win the women's title and nobody would bat an eye. Wasn't the biggest fan of her AEW run. I remember when she won the women's title randomly at Wembley. And I mean, she's definitely more suited to WWE than AEW, given her history there and given, you know, AEW's more in-ring focus. And I think it's a good spot for her to be in a tag match like this on her return match. But also you have to question the fact that many people had been left off this Mania card, and they've given the call for Paige to come into this match, whilst, you know, Asuka and Io are sat at home doing nothing and could have easily been in this match as well. Yeah, going to be very interesting to see what Paige actually does in WWE beyond this return match, if she even is in this match to replace Nikki Bella. That isn't totally confirmed until it obviously happens, of course. But yeah, after Mania, is she going to be a singles worker? Is she going to stay with Brie Bella and do tag stuff? What is going to happen, and why have WWE signed Paige back? I am kind of questioning this. And now something that has been made aware to me as I was recording is that Roman Reigns has now stated to WWE that if he loses to CM Punk at WrestleMania, he will leave WWE. If I lose to CM Punk, I don't belong in WWE anymore. If I lose, my work is done. That is the quote. Why would you say this a day before the match? Why would this not be a big talking point on TV for the storyline? This has never been mentioned in a promo at any point. You've just decided this now, the day before the show, to add a bit of extra heat to the match. And I mean, that very may well could spoil the result. I mean, one would think that Roman Reigns isn't going to be leaving the WWE unless they're running a big angle with it. I heard there was rumors about his contract expiring in the summer of this year or something like that. But again, just a weird angle to go with here. It kind of feels like they're spoiling the result here, unless the angle here is that Punk is going to win and Roman Reigns is going to go away from WWE for a bit whilst they try to renegotiate, or he potentially just does leave. Look at me biting into the stipulation. No way he's losing this, right? But even so, even if there is, you know, a reason why they're doing this stipulation and CM Punk might actually win, announcing it a day before is definitely a decision and a half, when they could have easily used this to further the storyline and get more heat on this match. Yeah, it's another one where time will tell. We'll have to wait till showtime to see what actually happens, and if Roman Reigns loses this match, and if he leaves WWE as a result of losing this match. And other than that, there is of course SmackDown tonight, so there is, you know, one last show before WrestleMania, so this video obviously might be a bit outdated, and anything I say maybe They do bring up that whole stipulation on SmackDown tonight with Roman Reigns and CM Punk, but again, point still stands. It was the day before. Elsewhere on SmackDown tonight, Cody Rhodes has a message for Randy Orton one night before WrestleMania. Pat McAfee in the graphic, of course. My guess here is that Cody Rhodes is going to bring out Jelly Roll to even the odds and announce him in his corner. So that's going to be fun, I'm sure. Drew McIntyre and Jacob Fatu have something booked in to build up to their match. The Armbar, the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal returns. I don't know who the hell is going to win it. Obviously, Carmelo Hayes won it last year. Bronson Reed won it. I don't know why I don't remember Bronson Reed winning it. I mean, the obvious prediction here is probably Royce Keeds, Powerhouse Hobbs. He's only had one match since signing to WWE. Doesn't appear to be on the show, that being WrestleMania, so I think he's probably the most sound and safe prediction here for the Armbar. Then we have the Wyatt Six and the MFTs in a 8-man tag street fight. Hasn't this feud been going on for like 9 months? And that's everything announced for SmackDown tonight. Interesting. Wow, what a riveting show we're looking at here. And we will end this video going over the entire Mania card, giving our predictions and giving a bit of our thoughts on the builds to all of these matches. So, of course, starting off, Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton with Pat McAfee in Cody or Randy's corner. For some reason, Drew McIntyre is up here as one of the featured superstars, whatever. WWE.com, update your website. But I mean, I'm not going to ramble on this one too long because I've made like 3 videos where I've just ranted about this feud. It's been dreadful. They have totally killed this feud. I am sure there's going to be a return match between these two at SummerSlam, and the feud is going to be way better because they'll probably actually address the history. That, or they'll do a WrestleMania Backlash match, which also they actually get a good storyline going there without this Pat McAfee guy involved ruining everything. Yeah, just the easiest through ball, open goal, layup, just penalty kick, easy feud to ever make. And they just fumbled it by getting Pat McAfee involved. And the thing is, I'm not even a big Pat McAfee hater. I liked his stuff in NXT. I thought it was a fine commentator in that role, but God, just too much, man. Too much. Like, this is the one match where it didn't need any of this celebrity involvement or trying to create hype moments and aura or viral moments. Just let these two guys work and wrestle for the fans of these two guys, for the fans of Legacy, for the fans who grew up during that era of WWE, because they have never got to see that era rehashed in such a big way like this. We've seen the Attitude Era rehashed. We've seen the Ruthless Aggression Era rehashed. But this era of WWE that Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton existed in when they were first starting out together in Legacy, which is now being revisited here, it's the first time that era has been revisited like this before in such a big way, and they fumbled it so hard. And I think that's why it's so personal to a lot of people, and why people really wanted this feud to be as good as it is. And it's not even that there was high demand for it. It was such an easy feud to make, and such an easy program to write. But they fucked it. I said to keep my thoughts brief. My bad. Anyway, let's move on to the next match here. Stephanie Vaquer and Liv Morgan. I'm looking forward to this match here. 2 of my favorites on the roster. As a build, I think it's been pretty good. I think they've made it work pretty well. I think it's definitely heated up the last few weeks. I maybe would have liked to see a bit more, like maybe a big brawl, maybe a bit of blood involved somewhere, just some brutality, but it has been some good stuff along the way, and I'm glad they haven't made Dom like such a big part of it. It's just been between these two. Oh yeah, I forgot to give my prediction. I'm predicting Cody Rhodes to retain. And then I'm predicting here between Stephanie Vaquer and Liv. I'm going to predict Stephanie Vaquer to retain here. Though I could see a Liv Morgan win. I'm going to go for Big Steph. AJ Lee versus Becky Lynch. I think this is a feud where the build has just been like fine. I think it's a feud that's been going on for so long now that nothing was really being done in like the stretch to WrestleMania from the last pay-per-view. I'm going to go for Becky Lynch to win the title back from AJ Lee here. AJ Lee seems to be more of a part-time worker, so I'd imagine that Becky Lynch would be winning it back. Jacob Fatu and Drew McIntyre in an unsanctioned match. This to me is just like the Scraps WrestleMania match. The match where these two guys should probably be in a higher world title program, and maybe if the circumstances were different this year, they could have been, but they've been relegated to facing each other. It's kind of like the Losers Cup match, like the Losers Plate, the Losers Bracket of the tournament. I'll go for Jacob Fatu to win this one. I feel like they might make him the first challenger for one of the world titles following Mania. Then we have the 4-way Women's Tag Team Championship match. Nia Jax and Lash Legend, Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair, Bayley and Lyra, and Brie Bella and Nikki Bella, TBA, potentially Paige. Very interesting stuff there. This build has just been, it's just been the build to a match. There's been no real reason this match came together. It's just your yearly women's 4-way tag match where it's just every team that exists at that moment is thrown in there. Apparently, for whatever reason, not Io and Asuka. For predictions, I guess I'll go for Bayley and Lyra to win this one. I think they've been kind of having that uphill battle the last few months. I think this would be a good way to cap it off. Then we have Logan Paul, Austin Theory, and ISHO Speed against the Usos and LA Knight. This is just, my word, what a match this is. Cool to see Speed on Mania. I think he's, actually promoted the show better than most of the wrestlers have with his streams and stuff. But, for promotion on TV, this has just been yet again just a build to a random 6-man tag. Hasn't felt like a prestigious Mania build whatsoever. And I'll go for the Usos and LA Knight to win this one. I'm very interested to watch Speed and see how he does in this match. Seth Rollins versus Gunther. This match as a build just came together so last minute. Originally there was talks of Gunther not making the Mania card, which would have just been a total failure on WWE's part. I'm glad they threw something together, but still the criticism is totally valid that this is a very thrown together match, and they should have had something in place for Gunther, a plan A and a plan B. Should be a good one though. I'm going to go for Gunther to beat Seth Rollins. It wouldn't make any sense for such a dominant heel like Gunther right now to lose to Seth Rollins, who's just returned from injury. And then it looks like we move to WrestleMania Sunday as the graphics just completely switch up here. The main event, of course, being CM Punk and Roman Reigns. Now with this Roman Reigns retirement thing, I'm going to go for Roman to win, but I still could see Punk winning it if it is to be believed that Roman may be renegotiating or something like that. I think the build for this one started out well, but it dropped off very quickly, mainly due to the fact that Roman Reigns wasn't appearing on TV. And wasn't responding to anything Punk said or getting any good comebacks in. I think everyone wanted him to talk about Larry, but it didn't just happen for whatever reason. He's been doing good stuff on social media and in interviews, but just not on TV, as the Usos have been in his place talking for him. And recently, Punk has been mentioning Pat McAfee in promos and stuff, which is just another thing you don't need. We don't need Pat McAfee involved in the other world title feud too. So yeah, overall the build's been fine. It's felt prestigious at the very least. It's felt like a big Mania build, but in the recent weeks I think it's really dropped off and it started out super hot. Yeah, we'll go for Roman Reigns to win that one, as we then go, oh boy, to Jade Cargill and Rhea Ripley in what has maybe been the other worst build for a WrestleMania match. Rhea Ripley, of course, won the Elimination Chamber, I believe, to become the #1 contender to Jade Cargill. They traded some big back and forth on social media, which got very heated, turned into an apparent shoot, with Jade Cargill breaking the fourth wall and saying Rhea Ripley hangs around creative, and Rhea Ripley airing grievances about Jade Cargill's, heat in the locker room and stuff like that. All this meant was that what they did on TV was never going to be able to live up to it, because when you're breaking the fourth wall like that, of course you can't mention creative on TV, which is why you should never really be doing it. But they were doing promos about functional muscles and just the most generic stuff of all time. This has not felt like a great build at all. It feels like the entire story to this match is Rhea Ripley's #1 contender and wants the belt. That's it. That's the entire story. There's no depth to it, no layers to it. It's just a match that happens to be taking place at Mania. I'm going to go for Jade Cargill to retain the belt in this match. I think would be a bit of a boring result for Rhea Ripley to win a women's title match at Mania, to be honest. Obafemi and Brock Lesnar, I think the build to this one has been one of the better builds going into Mania. I think it's been very solid. It's just kind of been letting the big guys speak for themselves and just meet it out and scrap it out. It has been very dominant for Obafemi the entire build up to Mania. It feels like he's not taken any offense from Brock Lesnar, and Brock Lesnar's not got anything in, and has just been getting bullied by Obafemi the entire build. So for that reason, I've got to imagine Brock Lesnar's going to win this one. I can't see him then losing after just being bullied and dominated the entire build up to the match. No way Brock takes an L like that, though Obafemi absolutely should win. Then we have Sami Zayn and Trick Williams in a match that should be a triple threat match, also involving Carmelo Hayes. I think the build to this one has been questionable as well, mainly because they just totally rug pulled Carmelo Hayes, who was the US champion, and had an easily built-in match with Trick Williams at the show, which easily could have involved Sami Zayn as well, in a three-way like I said, but Sami Zayn won the title from Carmelo Hayes on a SmackDown, and now he's facing Trick for the belt in what may feature a double turn. That is the big rumor going into this one. I'm not sure if I want to see that. I'm going to go for Trick Williams to win this match and win the belt back, but I'm very interested to see what actually happens if they go through with that double turn and if it means Sami Zayn might actually retain instead. Then we have the Intercontinental Championship ladder match with Penta defending the belt in this match against Javon Evans, Dragon Lee, JD McDonough, Rusev, and Rey Mysterio. I mean, I'd be fine with any of these guys winning other than JD McDonough. Like, who actually wants to see that? But I'm gonna go for Penta to retain in this one here. I could see Dragon Lee winning for some reason. I don't know why, I'm just feeling that. Yeah, screw it. I'm gonna go for Dragon Lee to win this match. I feel like it's his time, you know, with AJ retired, AJ Lee had to be disbanded, Dragon Lee singles title motive, I'm feeling it. As a build for this match, I mean, I don't really care what the build is. The IC title ladder match or a ladder match at Mania is a must, and there's not really any way you can build it between, you know, just the match happening and these guys want to be in it and use the ladders for offense leading up to the show and stuff like that. So don't really have much to say about the build. It's been fine for what it is. It's a ladder match, end of the day, a multi-man one. I think matches like this are necessary at Mania, at least one of them. The issue is that all the other matches were built up poorly as well, so this can't really stand out on its own. Then we have the Demon Finn Balor versus Dominic Mysterio. The build to this one has been solid. It's been building up for God knows how long now, with Finn Balor finally out of the Judgment Day, and the Demon Finn Balor no less. I don't know why they didn't, you know, let that debut and they announced it, but it is what it is, and I think for the fact he is the Demon, it probably surely spoils the fact he's going to win this match. Can't see him losing to Dominic when he's brought the Demon back for the first time in so long. Looking forward to seeing the entrance though. The Demon Finn Balor, if you're an OG Top 10 Wrestling fan, it was like my Top 10 Wrestling old profile picture and branding was to do with the Demon Finn Balor. And yeah, that's apparently every match. John Cena is going to host the show. There'll be the Hall of Fame and stuff like that. And that is everything for WrestleMania. What number WrestleMania is it? Is it 43? I don't even know. Oh no, WrestleMania 43 is the Saudi Arabia one. So it's WrestleMania 42. I think I've called it WrestleMania 43 in other videos. Oops. Hey, regardless, I think one thing about WrestleMania and the show is that regardless of the build, regardless of the apparent poor ticket sales, the fans in the building should be hot for the show, because one, they've spent, you know, a house and a leg to get there, and two, the wrestlers always deliver, the matches always deliver. Despite the poor builds, I'm sure a lot of these matches are going to be good. And on paper, like, as a card, when you remove the build to all the matches, it's a very solid in-ring card. A lot of great people on the show. Obviously, a lot of great people left off the show. I'd have loved to see Carmelo Hayes in the US title match. I'd have loved to see Asuka and Io Sky get some involvement on this card. Same with Royce Keys. But as a card, I do think it's a good one. In particular, I'm looking forward to Stephanie Vaquer and Liv Morgan, as well as Rollins Gunther, CM Punk and Roman Reigns, and the IC title ladder match, absolutely. Oh, and I mean, how could I not be looking forward to Obafemi's match? But yeah, I think that's about everything I have to say, and my final thoughts going in to WrestleMania 42. That's the number, not 43. If you enjoyed what I had to say about Mania, then leave a like on this video and comment down below your thoughts going into the grandest stage of them all. A final chance to get your Mania thoughts in, as the big show is tomorrow. If you enjoyed this video, then be sure to subscribe to the channel with notifications on so you never miss a video on the TTW channel. And yeah, look forward to my WrestleMania review on Monday for TTW Mondays, or sorry, TTW Sundays Monday edition. A bit of a schedule change this week, of course, for Mania. And use Fortnite code Top 10 Wrestling to buy the Steve Austin and Liv Morgan skins that just dropped. Huge stuff going down. Get those victory royals, and yeah man, I'll see you all in the next video. Goodbye and keep on rolling.